This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 207 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
Congratulations, Nicole.
Thank
you did it. 31 days.
31 days.
Dry January.
I did it.
And Melanie.
Oh, we love Melanie.
Hay, who's
Thank you,
an
Melanie.
OG listener
She
of
is
The Real
an OG.
Word.
I think she may, well, I was going to say she may be our only listener, but.
No, she's definitely not the only.
No, but I love her.
Why would you?
I don't know. I didn't mean to put us down like that. I try to stay humble.
You're putting down the rest of the listeners.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's a little too
humble. I love you
humble.
guys. No, maybe.
But Melanie sent you this award prize. What would she call it?
Go ahead, read it. My champagne crown.
A champagne crown to celebrate a dry January.
Mm-hmm.
A queen should always be crowned for her achievements, from Melanie.
So sweet of her.
Yeah. Follow Melanie.
This was a huge achievement. I think it's maybe
How do you feel? Do you feel better? Are you going to continue it?
I feel fabulous. So I'm down like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
I have organized and reorganized probably my entire home. I have 8 projects going on. I probably saved at least $1,000 this month. I feel great. I have zero desire to drink today.
Do you, 3 hours later, we'll see what happens. Do you think you lost the 5 pounds because your workouts were better because you had more energy, or just because of quitting booze, or a combo?
I guess maybe my workouts were I guess they were better, but
they were better.
I'll say that I definitely ate a lot at night when I was drinking.
Oh, when you were drinking.
Yeah. So cutting that out. But I also, I mean, I committed to, 3, 4, 5 drinks a night. So that's,
It was a commitment.
I committed. So it was like 500 calories. I definitely feel a lot less bloated. Again, my coach told me that, alcohol slows your metabolism down. So I'm sure.
Fitness coach, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that probably has something to do with it, but I feel great.
31 days. Congrats. Good job.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong camera. We're supposed to be looking in the middle one. Sorry, Bobby.
Wherever you want to look. All right. Let's get into the rackets.
Oh, but look, do you see, like, you got the really big one, and then it's like, I feel like I need to take a picture of this, because then it's like, and Nicole gets.
Take a picture.
She gets the Polaroid.
Put it on Instagram.
Nicole got the Polaroid.
If you want to see this picture of the 3 Sony cameras, you can follow Nicole on Instagram.
Have you ever noticed that?
Nicole White,
I know
realtor.
who Bobby likes.
Okay.
I know who Bobby likes.
Right.
Bobby is a favorite.
I asked him if we could get a 3rd one.
Bobby wants to get a 4th camera for this whole thing.
Well,
I don't know what we would be doing with 4
all
cameras.
right. Well, I got my photo. You do you. I'm going to do me.
Racket number 1, 65% of women would buy a home without being married first. What to know if you're one of them. This is a CNBC article, but it's a Bank of America study, okay? Mm-hmm. So they have this little story about somebody. We're not going to get into that. Let's just get into the numbers. Nearly 2/3 of single female prospective homeowners say they would rather not wait till marriage to buy a home, okay? Now, more 30% of current female homeowners purchase their homes while they were single. So 30% of the current female homeowners purchased that house when they were single. Mm-hmm. With the delay in getting married and starting families, I think it's logical that 65% of single prospective homeowners would choose to be homeowners without having to get married first. Senior Vice President, Homeowner Solutions and Strategic Relationships at Bank of America. What a title that is.
Right?
Senior Vice President.
Imagine your business card.
Oh my goodness. Of
your name
Home
tag?
Ownership Solutions and Strategic Relationships at Bank of America.
I like the word strategic relationships.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
It's just fancy title for
it's super fancy.
Networking and doing a lot of dinners.
Is that what it is?
You wouldn't be able to do it.
My whole life is strategic marketing.
No, you'd be no fun strategically on dry January.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be able to. Well, everyone else would be drunk and I'd be sober. Yeah. I get people to do a lot of shit.
Maybe.
I think I would.
Did you this month? Well, I mean,
no. Do you know what I ended up having to do though? I was a designated driver too many times.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like carting people around. Like, people, it's 10 o'clock. Let's wrap this up.
All right, so buying a new home can be a challenge. Obviously, current market conditions, we agree with that. Yep. Due to the limited supply, high prices, rising mortgage rates. The median existing home price in the U.S. was $358 in December, 15.8% increase from 2020. So those are some of the challenges that we've talked about a number of times. So anyways, B of A study also found that 80% of women are excited about the idea of buying a new home on their own, while 92% said it would be a great accomplishment. You know, there's something going on with the young women versus the young men in this country. Oh,
you've always said that. Dudes, get out of your mom's basement.
There's something really significant going on. So 50 years ago, Nicole, when you would go onto university campus, college campuses, 60% of the people going to college were men.
Okay.
And 40% were women. That has now flipped. You have 60-40, but there's also studies out recently that show it's going to start trending more towards 3 out of 4 people attending college will be women as opposed to men. So the women in this country, when we look back in 20 years, are going to be much more educated than the men.
Okay.
Whether that, you can debate college education, but if they're getting the right education applicable to, some type of job, it could be a real benefit for them in the workforce. They're obviously buying more homes than single men, right?
Yep.
And they're passionate about home ownership and investing.
I love it.
And the men are, I don't know, playing around in the metaverse, which we're going to talk about maybe a little bit later
with the metaverse. I'm
with the
having a
most
hard time
famous
with all
agent
of it.
of all time.
Yeah.
So, Nicole.
Yeah, I love it.
Should women buy a home before being married?
Should they?
Yeah.
I mean, they can.
Of course they can. This is America. I mean,
right. Should they? I mean, if they're making money and they can afford to, of course. Yeah. I mean, we talked about this probably 4 episodes ago about how even home ownership right now is still cheaper than rent. So, I mean, now's the time to start, because again, what you would do at that, and in my mind, you would buy obviously like maybe a condo or like a small starter home, and you can actually then keep that. Again, you get married, right? Keep that, rent it, and then you can actually start building like, your real estate wealth. But yeah, I mean, should they? If they can, of course. Yeah.
60% of these prospective female home buyers said they feel like they have made it when they buy their own home versus 52% of single men.
Well, that's fun.
Half of current single women homeowners, 46, said they were proud to tell other people, compared to just 35% of single men counterparts. So
I love it.
I guess the dudes are just like whatever about home ownership in comparison to the single women.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on who your cheerleader is,
Who your cheerleader is?
Yeah, who your cheerleader is. Like,
who you're telling?
No, who's your support at home? Like, who's encouraging you? Who's helping you? And I don't mean monetarily, but I mean, I've helped a lot of single women buy places, and again, Dad is certainly always there, supporting and helping and pushing them to do it.
Dave Ramsey's advice would be never buy a home until you're married. Agree or disagree?
Until you're married?
Yeah.
Disagree. What if people don't want to get married?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not everyone wants to get married.
Don't buy a home till you get married. He thinks everyone should get married, I think.
Well, clearly. But I don't know that you need to get married.
So, I like this a lot. I think that, there's a lot of... I don't care about... I threw that college stat out there just because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
But, if you're a single dude, you don't have to go to college to try to catch up to single women.
No.
You can go get a trade. You can make a lot of money a lot of other ways right now.
Definitely a trade.
But you should definitely be interested in investing in more than crypto, investing in more than Robinhood. You should be looking at real estate. And for whatever reason, women are more passionate about investing in real estate on the whole compared to single men. Single men, I think that's a mistake.
Okay.
All right.
There it is.
And that's not a racket. All right. Racket number 2. Zillow's in hot water.
We love Zillow.
This dates back to 2015. Zillow ordered.
This is pre-real word.
Yeah, this is. Zillow ordered to pay VHT, which is stands for VHT Studios.
Is VHT still even around?
They're a photography company. Yeah,
still
yeah.
Around? I don't know. Around. Some places they and things happen.
Zillow's ordered to pay VHT $2 million as listing photo saga concludes. This is according to Inman. We'll link it up, of course.
I feel bad for them though.
If you want to read the whole article. So this is a 6-year lawsuit.
You've spent more than $2 million.
I know, and that's where I'm like, VHT. Originally, they were awarded $8 million. Zillow went and fought that, and then it got down to $4 million. Then eventually, through the court system, they got it all the way down to $2 million. You can read the specifics on that. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but Zillow's obviously going to have the time to like spend getting it from $8 million to $2 million. The attorneys, the attorneys are already on staff. So it's not like VHT probably had to go hire attorneys for this.
For 6 years.
So the $2 million.
You think they even had the same attorney for 6 years? They probably didn't have the same attorney for 6 years.
Yeah, maybe the attorney stayed on the case, but they're gonna get a lot of that money or a good chunk of that $2 million for spending 6 years on the case. But here's what happened.
We should try to interview them. I wonder what their purpose was. Was it to go after Zillow, or was it the money?
Well, they alleged that the listing giant had ripped off its intellectual property by illegally using its photos on its home improvement webpage, Zillow Digs.
Okay.
So that was really...
Is Zillow Digs even around anymore?
I don't know, Bobby. Look up Zillow Digs. See if it is still around.
I never even heard of it.
Zillow Digs was showcasing these home improvements. It was their HGTV portion of their website, if you will. Mm-hmm. At the time, VHT counted more than 75,000 real estate professionals nationwide among its customers.
Wow.
But the amount of, it's a lot of customers.
So many. So what were they, just like mass?
So Zillow was saying, well, hey, no.
So they're kind of like a Planomatic? Like VHT was like a Planomatic?
Yeah, I would assume so. I don't know VHT like I know Planomatic, but I would assume it's similar.
75,000 customers.
Yeah, a lot of customers, a lot of agents. So Zillow Digs looks like it's archived, so it's not, they're not utilizing it right now. So Zillow was saying, hey, through all of our, their claim was through all of our partnerships and brokers, we use the proper, photography and all of that. But it was thousands and thousands of photos. It was 2,700 photos that they infringed on was one number. Then this kept changing through the years on the courts. At one time, it was 3,373 photos, and originally it was 28,000 of VHT's images. So there's all these numbers that they were working through. The VHT was making claims. Zillow was doing all these appeals. Eventually, it got to the Ninth Circuit appeal, and that's where they came up with this $2 million. It was a favorable decision for Zillow, it looks like, in the end, because VHT was originally
$200 for each image.
Photo, statutory damages for each innocently infringed. There's all these different numbers. I'm not going to bore you with the numbers.
Oh, it wasn't even 2 million. 1.927.
Yeah, so under 2 million.
Yeah.
And they got a certain amount for each photo. VHT originally awarded 8 million, ends up with less than 2 6 years later.
Holy crow.
I don't think it was worth the time. Maybe it was to them. They would be the only ones that could answer that. There's still like one final appeal they could do, even though Zillow's headline says it concludes, but they've got 30 days to do that. Both sides could appeal. Zillow's not going to appeal because they're quoted in here saying this is favorable to them.
Yeah.
But it does, you start looking at, I save a bunch of TikToks, and sometimes I go on there and they're no longer available. Their sound is no longer available because then there was a copyright change on the sound. Like you see a whole bunch of people right now dropping off of Spotify, right? Because they're upset about Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
The Washington Post has got everyone's panties in a bunch about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I love it.
You love that?
Well, I just like that you said panties in a bunch.
Panties in a bunch there. So
say it again.
No. So the minute somebody decides to take their song off of TikTok or Instagram, and you had a reel up, and people go, then they're back like watching your stuff. Now they can't hear that sound, which is why I never post really anything ever on Instagram Reels or TikTok with a sound. I just want it to be my voice because I want it to last. But obviously, I'm giving up the opportunity to potentially go viral.
Okay.
Because those songs really help, with the trends.
Yep.
So there's copywriting going on there, listing videos, whatever. Obviously, photography. It's been a big thing with agents and these listing photo companies, the photography companies, because they may expire a listing and then you see the other agent list the house and it's your photos.
And the photographer's like, they're my photos. I'm allowed to sell them. And I'm like, what? Then give me my money back. Give me my money back.
So if you're an agent and you don't want that to happen to you. You didn't even have the ability
to get into a house if it wasn't because of me.
Of course, but they own the photos. Right. Bobby's smiling because he's probably on the side of the, the creatives, the photography companies.
Yes.
But being a creative that he is.
But then the photographer's doubling down. I don't know. That's where it's hard.
Beginner photographers don't put anything in writing, right? Some of them. They're just taking photos and then it's up for dispute. The photography companies, like VHT or Planomatic, who we mentioned, or somebody who's big in your local market, they're having you sign a contract most likely. And in that contract, it does state somewhere that they own the photography. They own all of those digital assets, whether it be the floor plans, the video, the photos. And so if you don't want them to own that, you need to negotiate that up front.
Right.
Get it in writing where only you own that photography, and you're likely going to pay a higher fee. Sometimes they'll just give you full ownership for a year, and then it expires.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways you can do it, but you need to be aware of that as an agent going in. Zillow obviously got themselves in. You're not going to get yourselves in hot water like Zillow, I don't believe. But you don't want to come up with where you're upset that this other agent listed with your photos.
Well, again, but it sounds like what they were doing was like they were literally ripping these photos
and using
off.
it as promotion on Zillow.
Yes. I mean, this is different than another agent using, because how many times have agents even used your photos and put like under contract because they brought the buyer?
Right.
I mean, they should really be asking your permission in that situation.
Well,
but
in that case, when it's on the MLS, you can technically do that. Right, you need to source it.
You should source it, or at least ask. Like I would.
But technically, if they've clicked off, like it can go onto other websites, so it can go on to Redfin. It can go. You can use that photo, but you got to source.
I still would ask the agent.
It's all over the internet.
I mean, it's such a small community. You should be asking permission.
The unwritten rule, is to do that for sure. So in the comments, what are your thoughts? Has this happened to you? And who owns your photos? The listing photography company, or do you own them? Are you negotiating those so where you own them? All right, marketeer of the week. We're talking about him again. Always.
I feel like it's either him or the BA.
Well, who looks better? The BA, the broke agent, or this photo of Ryan Serhants? You got to put the photo up. So Ryan Serhants announces on Instagram this week that he's been waiting for this day for a long, long time. We decided to start our firm a few years ago. We knew two things. One, that we wanted to create the first of its kind. And flip through these three photos as I'm reading this, Bobby. Wanted to create its first of its kind content to commerce brokerage focused on our agents' brands and the properties they sell to provide best-in-class future forward service to our clients worldwide. And two, we wanted to serve the whole world with a mobile-first approach and grow with the most efficient footprint. So today we are announcing Universe, and he's got the S with the dot. Good branding there. I mean, he's Serhant, the S with the dot.
He's being very consistent. I love the period. I don't know if you ever know. I put periods on everything.
Yeah,
I do that.
You do it.
I over period.
She'll have a 6-word sentence, and every word has a period.
Yeah, I'm a period lover. I am.
Once in a while, I do it, and then I'm like,
the period.
Don't do it.
It's
Nicole White's gonna call you out.
Nicole White? No, she'll praise it and throw a heart.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So. Anyways, he created a virtual world a la EXP, okay? And so he says he's using the best technology we have available. You do have a lot of feedback from EXP users that say, I mean, some people just drink the Kool-Aid so hard, they're like, oh my gosh, our virtual reality space is amazing. But the majority of people, you get a drink in them, EXP, they said it sucks.
Okay.
Like it's very clunky. It's outdated technology. I'm sure EXP will, and EXP, go ahead, blast me in the comments for saying that. And I'm sure EXP as a company is going to update this going forward.
Well, they have to.
Yeah, their VR EXP verse, whatever they call it.
How are you feeling about all of this? Like, you're excited for it? Like,
well, let's get into that.
So like you and I don't even have to do this anymore? Like,
yeah, we don't. So
I have so many questions.
All right, we'll handle the questions here. Let's just finish what Ryan says. This is what they're gonna be able to do in the Universe, which is a Sirhan owned platform for his agents. Now, they're gonna be able to meet with do meetings. Okay, so agents can attend meetings.
So I don't get it. I don't get it. Like they're like, so their pretend cartoon.
Hold on. Let's just go through all the things he says they can do, and then we'll go back and forth on this. Can attend meetings, grow their teams, meet with employees, interact with clients, perform workflows, and eventually show properties in our universe. Also, their 11,000 Sell It Like Sirhan course members will be able to learn, meet with their coaches, their brand strategists, and interact with one another for referrals. And so that's a gist of what you can do. Now, so here's the thing. You put on the goggles.
Okay.
Right?
So it's like an Oculus type thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you're in Oculus, you've seen it like in an architect's office, right? Where you walk around the plan of a new development.
Okay.
So in this case, it would be whatever.
So I'm going in there to meet with
maybe it's a virtual office, and he's still going to have.
Going in there.
They call all their offices houses. They're still going to have houses in strategic locations, like the first one that they have in Manhattan. So maybe it's a virtual space of the office. I mean, this
what do you think of this? What
do you think of this second photo of Ryan? By the way,
where's his waist?
Pop that up.
And look at him. He looks like he ate spinach. Like Popeye.
So he doesn't on this Instagram. It's just 3 photos. Doesn't show you exactly I don't know if that's a real meeting with. I mean,
he's in a meeting.
Does this look like Ryan? Yes or no?
He reminds me.
Does this look like Ryan Serhants? No.
But the next one reminds me of what's that? $1 million.
Right.
Dr. Evil. Yes, around like the big circle table.
Does look like he's ready to take over the world.
I mean, he's got this whole
like an evil plan.
The whole thing seems evil.
So you're gonna have your goggles on. You're gonna be sitting in this virtual space.
Okay.
And if I have my goggles on and I'm sitting in Florida and you're sitting in this room, I could literally say this room was a virtual space. I could walk into this room and sit right down next to you where like when you have your goggles, you feel like you could just reach out and touch me.
Yes, I've done that before. We have Oculus.
And so we could literally now, Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong.
It's
a pretend you. So like if we were doing a podcast, it would be, hopefully it's a better looking version of you than the Ryan Serhant looking version of him.
It'd be a great
but it would be
version of me.
pretend versions of us.
Yes.
And like I would look like
follow my like
I'd be wearing a Joe Burrow chain.
Oh Lord, we went there.
We gotta throw Joe Burrow in. How the Joe Burrow chain on my guy.
My problem here is my children do this. So they're in Oculus. They love it. They make me go in there. They made me one time walk the plank. Literally had to sit down. Like I'm afraid of heights.
You felt like you were going to fall?
Oh, and they tried to push me. Like I'm literally on my floor. There's nothing below.
We have a plank in our office.
My children, though, they're on that thing long enough. They're angry afterwards. Like it does something messy with your brain. Like that's where I start getting concerned.
Are they hungry or angry?
No, it's like they just are miserable people afterwards. Maybe it was the length. So maybe it is food induced. But it's like they have a headache and it's exhausting.
Well, maybe they had to come back into the real world and they realized
how horrible it is.
Disappointing it is.
Maybe. I don't know.
I want to go back.
The whole thing. So I guess I love the idea of it because I prefer to sit with you. I guess I'd be sitting with you. Like I'd feel like you were sitting with me.
You'd feel like you are. Obviously you wouldn't be, but.
I feel like this goes back to what we were talking about. And I know that this isn't a Racket. He's the marketeer of the week. So there's really no real like I hate this, love this idea.
No, but you can give your opinion on it.
But I still feel like I prefer to sit in a real room with like real people having real conversations.
I prefer that as well. And I think for those of us, especially like people that were born in the 80s that got a taste of both.
Yeah.
Where it's like you didn't have a cell phone in high school.
Right.
You might have had a beeper if you were lucky.
A pager. We called it a
pager. You had a house phone. And maybe your first computer was a Gateway 2000 like mine was, right? Like you had the start of it all.
You had a floppy disk. Yeah.
And then you saw it all happen. Like, we had video games obviously, but it wasn't to the level that you have it now. And so you kind of like, we're like the last of the old world.
True.
And seeing the new world is how I look at people that grew up in the 80s and 90s. And I think that's very unique. I think that generation is going to prefer to sit down, have a dinner. But now your kids may not.
I know,
but
that's where my concern is though too. Because again, my husband's a teacher at the high school, so he has seen the progression too. Because I feel like every Friday I'm like, so like, where's the party this weekend? He's like, party?
They don't party.
They're FaceTiming. I'm like, that's how they're hanging out. Like, and I see my kids. Like, my daughter is a freshman, and like the girl would rather. And I know that she's not ever, but like she feels the most comfortable at her home in her room. Like, WTF? Go and sit in the friggin' commuter parking lot and let's try to figure out where we're going to go throw our keg. I mean, come on.
Well, because you don't have to go sit there to find out what everyone's doing because you have cell phones.
I know.
So you're not obviously going to do silly things like that.
No, but like they're literally not even like it is. I will say though, it is funny though because the amount of time like people are FaceTiming quite a bit. Like they're not even and then they're falling asleep with their phone next to that. Like that kind of is weird. But it's sad. It's a little sad. I see like sort of I see the other side of it.
Besides EXP, I don't know another company doing anything quite like this. So I think it's very smart. And he's the marketeer of the week because
I do think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think it's brilliant. It's better. I will say I think this is better than a Zoom call.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
This will be, Zoom. Now, all the people on Zoom that have their camera off,
yes,
they can hide behind their fake avatar.
Yes.
Right? So it's basically like having your camera off, but there's a resemblance of somebody
like
there.
The ultimate cat catfish.
Yeah.
You get to pick, like, you could be like a hot toddy.
You could be sitting in your underwear.
Yes, with your chain. No, you can have your chain.
My Joe Burrow chain.
Yourself. You can have like the fur. I want like a smoking jacket.
I can wear stuff I would never wear in real life.
Yes, that's fun. And every day it could be something else, like a flapper, a costume.
Good. But here's what's going to happen in these verses. It's going to like cost, you're getting all excited. It's going to cost money to buy all this crap. Like, you're not just going to be like, pick it off a free shelf. Like,
no, but but people are spending $1,000 at least a year buying a new phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. A new laptop. Now you just have to buy like an Oculus set.
No. I'm saying when you're going to buy the Oculus, and then if you want to wear all these articles of clothing in the metaverse,
you have to buy them.
You're gonna have to buy them.
But first of all, people are buying.
So I'll be wearing the same clothes every day.
I know that I'm gonna get ridiculed for this, but if we go to the NFTs, people are buying these pretend photographs for millions of dollars.
Right. So how much do you think your hot toddy bikini that you want to wear on the freaking thing is gonna cost?
But at least it's like it's. I feel like it's something.
But you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that is so much money, but it's gonna look so great on my avatar. You know, it's going to be more expensive. Whatever you think is there's
going to be like a Gucci line.
Do you think Melanie will buy you a crown for your avatar?
Obviously.
Melanie, it sounds like you just have committed to that.
Yeah.
It'll cost more than the real life one.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Amazon will figure out some way to infiltrate this universe and it'll be click, click, click.
What's your take before we wrap up the show on the adoption of this early on?
I don't understand your question.
Like, will his agents adopt this and the 11,000 course members or whatever?
I do, yeah. I mean, it's Sirhan.
I think the course members for sure.
I think people that are in his brokerage, I think are following God.
He's got to be spending a lot of money on it. Yeah. So, I tip my cap to that because he's putting a huge investment, believing in the future. To get clients on this seems really far out to me.
Yeah.
10 years seems more right than in the next 5. But Ryan, if you go back to a couple episodes, is the one that said 50% of all transactions are going to be done in crypto very soon. That was Inman's quote. Mm-hmm. So he's bullish on this whole entire space. Mm-hmm. He wants to be a leader in it. He's putting his money where his mouth is. I'm personally still learning. I mean,
I don't
about it all. Whether it goes
you know more
NFT
than I do. The
stuff.
NFT thing is still mind blowing to me. I don't understand.
Like you could have your own house or office in the metaverse, right? Say we put our team. We do an office like Ryan's doing with his
universe.
Mm-hmm. If you want to put a sign on the wall, it's going to cost money in the virtual space. You want to put some artwork. That's an NFT or whatever. Basically, it's going to cost money. It's crazy. It's a lot of money.
So crazy.
It's still, the metaverse is far out. NFTs is not. That's clearly here.
It's not, but
and crypto's clearly here. It's 3 different things we're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got that part down? 3 different things?
I get it. Yeah. I like tangible items.
In the comments, would you rather meet in person, in the metaverse, like Ryan Serhants' universe, or on Zoom? Which of the 3? In person?
I don't mind meeting in the metaverse. There's probably lots of people that I would rather meet in the metaverse than in real life. But
what would you rather do? Would you rather do one of the other 2 over in person is what I want to know.
Do you get to drink in the metaverse? So I could continue to stay dry January, but I could still socialize with the martini.
But you could have a fake martini?
Yes.
It's rather insane. But I guess you could do anything in the universe or the metaverse.
All right. The universe? Oh, his universe.
Love to hear from you. Appreciate you guys. Melanie, thanks again for sending Nicole the crown. I'm going to make her wear it all day.
Oh, boy.
And if she ends up at the bar tonight with that on her head, I'll be sure to send everybody a photo on Instagram.
I feel great about the day.
All right, guys. See you next week. Keep it real.
See you guys.